Hey folks, I'm just going to make a Friday afternoon quick video. Look where I'm working, in the dining room whilst I'm waiting for my office. So a couple of things I want to show you here. First of all, Jinx the cat. Hello Jinx. Psst, 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 psst. Yeah, that's Jinx, very old cat. Now I just want to look at these charts here, and here I've got the currencies. I want to go through them very quickly. First of all, we've got the majors. That's the euro against the US dollar, holding up above that downward trend line. Have a look at the last videos that I put out, where I talk about these and how these are holding up as a result of the dollar just sort of moving down a wee bit. And there's the dollar index, and we talked about those levels in the last video. I'll link to that at the end of this video, and you can see even the dollar Swiss franc moving down, despite the sort of buoyancy of the Swiss franc given the economic situation and the geopolitical events going on, and then the Aussie just picking up a wee bit. So that's all pretty good if you're long on those. But the interesting one here actually is this one, and this is the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Look at that move yesterday. We talked about this again in the last video. It's really important that you look at the last video and look at what's going on this. But we're short on that, along with being long on the other majors. And then these yen crosses, that's the euro yen, pound yen, CAD yen, even the Swiss yen moving down, which is quite interesting, and the Aussie yen just holding up a wee bit. So interesting there. And then we talked about these trades on the NASDAQ and in the S&P. I'm just going to open up the NASDAQ chart quickly and show you what's going on this, because we're still long on NASDAQ. Now, I'm going to zoom out a bit here, and maybe we just need to zoom into that corner. There's that downward facing channel line, which I still think looks like a bull flag. And look what happened yesterday. Let's zoom right in there. I'm filming this on the camera because my software on the computer's not, it's a bit wonky. So there's the channel line and the 200 period moving average, which is super interesting. Remember I said we could get to 14,000, and we got almost there and then just bounced back off there. And that's the way we stand at the moment on NASDAQ. So I'm pretty keen on holding on to these long positions. And there's the SPX. It's actually the same thing. We did break down through that purple zone, but just down to the to the bottom of the channel line. And look at that sort of gap up today. We had a gap on both of them. And then we've seen in pre-market already, look at Microsoft gapping up in pre-market, even Tesla, little old Tesla, not so little really. Apple really not moving down as much, but also not bouncing as much. And then Nvidia, the chip stocks just gaining a little bit more footing. So all in all, I'm still positive on the stock markets. And now I want to have a look at if I can find this mouse, because I'm trying to do several things at the same time. So gold, well, we're just waiting for a pullback on gold. Once again, I have to refer you to these old videos, not old, actually a day or two ago. And then, well, silver and gold, well, we're not really trading anything else but gold at the moment, apart from uranium, another metal. We're long on that, but that's pulling back a bit. That's the path I think we could follow. And then palladium, nothing really. And then we're also short on UEC, which is on my other charts, which I'll show you shortly. Then I'm going to show you this last screen, and there's natural gas. Now look at that. That's the 4-hour chart on my broker at BlackBull, and that's the day chart on the NYMEX Henry Hub price. Look how we gapped up at the rollover. Now there's a very interesting arbitrage video. If you're not a member of this YouTube channel, you can join up. There's a join button below, and you can become a YouTube channel member. And there's a whole video there on this arbitrage trade that I took on Amanda, which I'm going to show you very, very quickly where we stand at the moment. 10-year yield coming off a bit, so that should drag the dollar down, and perhaps stocks up, gold up, other currencies up against the dollar. Bitcoin, well, we cashed out on that some time ago, and we're waiting for a pullback or a continuation. And then sugar, we're short on sugar, looking a little bit better today. We want to break down through that trend line. And WTI, we remain short. We were short right from the top near that channel line, and we've taken half of our profit at the bottom. We've bounced up from there a little bit and waiting for the next move. Hoping to get down to 81, 81 and then 78. But I want to show you something else. I want to show you this natural gas trade. So once again, you're going to have to understand that arbitrage trade to understand how we got into this position. But there's our trade position where we opened it some time ago, several days ago. There's actually two positions. That's the average price. One at just over $3, 3.07, and one at 2.87. And that's where we are at the moment, 3.12. And this will probably, in fact, almost certainly catch up with the December contract price, which is now the front month, which is trading at around $3.50. And that's beginning to surge and escalate higher today. We'll close that when that meets the front month or the current month price, the December contract, at around $3.50. If that pulls back to $3.40 or so, then we'll, whatever the price is when they meet together. So that's super interesting. I want to go back to the 4-hour chart and the day chart to show you why, actually, if you're still long on this, you might consider getting out. So here's the day chart on natural gas, and you can see that channel, and look where we gapped up to. I hope you can see it on this sort of makeshift camera job. We're at about 359 now, right up in that top corner. There's the big gap. But we're at the top of this channel. But it's also, if I switch across to the 4-hour chart on the BlackBull broker, there you can see the channel line in green. There's a red horizontal line which you need to look at as well. So let's just zoom this out. And sorry about the fiddling around. We need to pull this all the way back and switch it to a day chart. But going into that area there where you can see it was a support and resistance level, that's going back to February this year. That line continues all the way along to meet that channel top, exactly where we are currently now at $3.58, $3.59, call it $3.60, thereabouts. So this is a good place to exit at the channel top. We're very overbought on an intraday basis. It's a horizontal support and resistance line just touching over there, but importantly, it's also the channel top now, having redrawn the channel to incorporate that high a few days ago. So once again, if you want to find out how to do this arbitrage trade on Oanda, you can just click the join button below and join this YouTube channel as a YouTube member. There are various perks and things and regular updates which the YouTube public doesn't get. Or you can join my private trading community free of charge for 14 days and give it a go. And the link's below this video in the description. Now, what's happening today in the news, there's a little bit on the PCE and core PCE price index. There's personal income and personal spending, which is pretty important. But the Michigan consumer sentiment, which is due out at 4 o'clock my time, I think that's 10 a.m. New York, that's expected to dip down quite a lot. And if you want the Fed to become more dovish, then we want to see a lower number and a tick down in the Michigan consumer sentiment. So there we go, folks. Excellent trade on natural gas. A little bit of a better week this week, really. So I'll be keeping my eye on the natural gas arbitrage trade on Oanda to look to exit that. We'll be watching NASDAQ and S&P very closely to see whether these can rally today. I remain cautiously optimistic on those. I'll be watching the dollar-yen for a big move down. Have a look at the last video to see what's going on that in my mind and the mind of others, including some big funds. And we'll also want to see the dollar index move lower along with the 10-year yield. And as a result, the euro and the pound move up. Well, I hope you enjoy that. Have a fantastic weekend. And if you're a rugby fan, I say go South Africa. You might be saying go the All Blacks, but enjoy it. It's on Saturday. And if you're not watching rugby, just have a great weekend. And whilst you're resting over the weekend, please give this video a like and subscribe and share it with your friends. And I'll see you in the next one.